we're in a tough time. We're obviously in a tough time. And it's the fear is heightened, and rightfully so. This is, um, you know, there's the docs. A lot of the docs who are on the front lines are dealing with having to be exposed on a day-to-day basis, are having to deal with not having enough protective gear, and are having to deal with, bringing potentially bringing this home to their families. Some docs are living with their parents or in close contact with their parents. So, we're in an interesting time. And what I wanted to talk about was sort of what some of us physicians are dealing with who are not on the front lines. And so most of you all who are in my community know that I have, for the most part, transitioned out of clinical medicine. And what I do now is I coach other physicians in the realm of business and entrepreneurship. And so, I've been having these various conversations with my colleagues, both colleagues who are in the clinical realm and are like from ER docs to primary care docs, as well as other non-clinical docs like myself. And we are having there's a very dynamic conversation going on in our community. So a couple of things I want to share with you are the perspective of the non-clinical docs, how this fears is really impacting our community on both sides. And as entrepreneurs, because there are a lot of physicians who are entrepreneurs also and who are business owners, private practice owners in our community, what we can be looking forward to, what we can be doing to stay in a space of empowerment. So one of the things I've been dealing with personally is being on the non-clinical side and being trained as a family doc is this sense of initially sense of guilt. And it's kind of challenging for me to talk about, but this is alive and it's on the fly. So I really feel like it's necessary for us to have this conversation because I'm seeing this conversation pop up in several other of my communities. So this sense of, oh my gosh, I should be on the front lines. I should be out there. Like I am trained as a primary care physician. I should be there with my colleagues on the front lines. It's like, if you think about, soldiers, and for those of you in the military, you might be able to really get this and appreciate this. As a family doc, we're trained to be soldiers on the front line. And, of course, the ER docs are like really, really on the front line, and the urgent care docs, but we're trained to be out there. And so as a non-clinical doc, I have been struggling with where can I contribute? Where can I wouldn't say be relevant, but like really, how could I best contribute and empower from the space that I'm in? And I thought I was the only one. And then I recently saw that there are a lot of non-clinical docs that have that sense of guilt, who are wondering, should they be out there? And then have the sense of guilt for not wanting to be out there, because there is I am glad that I'm, able to work from home. I'm glad that I am able to create an income for what I do right now. And so what came to me, how I was able to really make some peace with this and really be in a space of, okay, let me do what I can do from the space of where I am now as a non-clinical doc, as a coach, as a person who empowers other doctors, is thinking about this whole concept of the military. So and feel free, anyone who has been in the military, to chime in on this. If you go into the military straight out of high school, you're automatically infantry. You're on the front lines. There's really no choice. But if you go into the military out of college, then you have this opportunity. Thank you. Then you have this opportunity to go in as an officer. So you're going at a different level, right? And you're not necessarily on the front lines unless it's dire straits and there's a call for that. And of course, if you go in beyond that, then you're going at higher ranking. So what I had to come to realize is, while I was trained to be more like infantry, where I've come to in my career is I'm in the space of more of at the officer level. Now, that's not necessarily to say that's a rank above or better than, but it's a space of a place of position of empowerment, another perspective, another context. And so for the non-clinical docs out there, for the physicians out there who are like me, who are non-clinical, who are coaches, who have courses, who are in the space of entrepreneurship, what I want you to know is that, and especially those who have completely transitioned, because there are some who are straddling. They're straddling. Some are still in clinical and doing their businesses. But for those who have transitioned like me, I just want to send the message out to you that your voice matters. And whatever your gift is, you do have something that can empower those physicians who are on the front lines and out there. And so really think about and look at what is it that you have? What is your gift, your secret sauce that you can bring to the table, even if it's just your authenticity and sharing where you're at, that could empower those docs, even if you're not on the front line. Okay. And for those docs who are not necessarily coaches but are non-clinical, the non-clinical space, like utilization review, those types of positions, leadership positions that are completely non-clinical, you know that you have a place, and you are important and you matter. So that's one of the things. There is no reason to feel guilty for not being on the front line. I just wanted to kind of give that empowerment first and foremost. So with that said, if you have any comments, any questions, I am here and I'm open to receive those questions. I will continue to monitor any comments or questions after the streaming is over. But I really wanted to come to you all today and really give you all the sense of the fullness of what some of us are dealing with. Like I said at the beginning, for the non-clinical physicians out there, you have a place. You are needed, you are valued, you are important, your voice matters, and what you do is important, even in the non-clinical space. Even though we are not on the front lines, we do have something to contribute that's very important. And that's what I have to bring to you today. Hope that you found it helpful. Leave your comments, leave your takeaways, leave your takeaways in the comments, leave any experience, any questions, any empowerment that you have in the comments. And I look forward to bringing more empowerment as we move through this space. You all have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. Namaste.